Homelessness has been a rising problem since the late 1800s, but did not become a nationally regarded issue in the U.S. until much later, as the U.S. began looking for more reliable employees to enter the workforce. Compared to the 1980s, the New York City shelter system now holds 6 times as many people as it once did, jumping from 10,000 to 60,000 in merely a few decades. Often, in response to the homelessness epidemic, people ask the question, well, why don't the homeless just get jobs and earn money? But the issue is not so simple. In the Los Angeles County area, 57 to 90% of the homeless population are unemployed compared to the 3.6% national rate in 2019. 26% of homeless individuals are actively looking for work, and the rate increases to 36% as soon as they are involved in a family unit. So it is clear that a large percentage of the homeless want to work, but why are they not able to? There are many factors that contribute to why the homeless are stuck in this cycle, including lack of vocational training and interview skills, mental and physical challenges such as disabilities and mental health issues, systematic issues making certain groups more likely to be homeless, high incarceration rates, and lack of affordable housing. A main issue is that often to apply for a job, a home address is needed. This barrier makes it nearly impossible for the homeless to dig themselves out of poverty. We hope to partner with Icon, a company that already works with the homeless and creates housing communities with 3D printing technology. Because they're already well versed in this area, they already understand what is required to build these houses and can work with us to find the most effective methods. Our idea of using recycled filament would not only be sustainable, but would contribute to Icon's idea of helping the community by reducing their carbon footprint. By using recycled plastics, they will be able to further themselves on this mission and cut the cost of using more expensive concrete filaments. The emerging technology we are working with is 3D printing and recyclable materials. We plan to print homes using a filament made with recycled materials. Homes are already being 3D printed for the homeless, but the materials aren't sustainable for the environment. 3D printing is less expensive than traditional building because it eliminates the cost for labor. While the cost for labor is mostly eliminated, the cost of the printer itself as well as the size of the printer are still issues. Our idea to build homes with 3D printed plastic is not limited by shape nor by quality of living. In order for our idea to be successful, we need to mirror similar projects, ones that built houses for the homeless normally. So there is intent to insulate and provide electricity to the homes. We will sell our idea to a 3D printing company like Icon because they have the tools to make this idea a reality because of their background with 3D printed homes. While this project is possible and revolutionize the housing process for those who cannot afford it, it is accompanied by many challenges, including concerns around funding, sustainability, and longevity. The mission of our project is to provide houses for those without the funds to buy or rent their own, thus posing the question as to where the funds will come from. 3D printing in and of itself is very expensive and, with the machine used to print houses, can become far more expensive considering the mission holds no promise of profit. In most cases, one must find funding for housing programs through government agencies or even private companies. However, the company Icon already has a partnership with the nonprofits New Story and Etchell to provide 3D printed houses. With this initiative already in the works, it is possible for our technology to make their process less expensive. Because our polymer is from recycled goods, it is more cost conscious, making our technology a revolutionary and less expensive way to continue on. The main purpose of this initiative is to create a sustainable alternative to 3D printed housing that would not only be made from recycled materials but reduce the energy waste and be of quality that lasts and therefore creates less waste in general. The polymer we are proposing to use in the 3D printer is made from recycled materials that needs to be blended up before use. This process therefore takes waste out of the environment and repurposes it, therefore creating a positive environmental impact. In addition, in order to reduce energy waste, the polymer building process must have insulating properties included. This will therefore reduce the environmental impact of these houses. In addition, these houses need to be built in the highest quality that makes them long-lasting to thereby reduce the eventual environmental waste on the environment. With this focus on sustainability, our initiative has taken into account the challenges facing our technology and have created solutions. The potential for a recycled plastic filament can first be backed up by the need for quality filament. Morgan Hinge, Associate Professor and Plastic Expert, and Jeet Buck Larsen, Business Developer and Marketing Manager at Ag University in Denmark, were researching ways to make sure there is an industry standard for the quality of plastic since it's not guaranteed that each batch will be the same. Larsen can be quoted saying, If the project is successful, it'll revolutionize the material consumption of 3D printers, which today is largely made up of new plastics. We're talking about being able to use plastic waste to create new, high-quality filament. Our plastic filament is the high-quality filament Larson is seeking. Experts also agree that having this consistent quality will help the sustainability efforts. According to founder of One Earth Technology, Matt Watkins, making a house out of recycled plastic filament can save 20 tons of waste from entering the waste stream. From an industry standpoint, it's much more cost-effective to use recycled plastic filament over non-recycled filament. Joshua Pierce, head researcher at Michigan Technical University and founder of RecycleBot, states, "Commercial plastic filament costs about $35 per kilogram or more. If you make it with a RecycleBot, that cost drops to only 10% per kilogram for the electricity to run it. For reference, RecycleBot is a machine that can convert recycled plastics into filament." Matt Watkins says, "We found through our feasibility study, which was based on a review of over 100 research publications on PET, additive manufacturing and recycling processes, that it could be cheaper, significantly faster, emit less carbon while diverting thousands of tons of plastic from the waste stream. We now know that our filament makes things cheaper and more sustainable, but how much faster?" According to Watkins, the 3D printed housing can be made in as little as 2 weeks. This greatly reduces the cost of labor. In turn, houses are much cheaper for the consumer, as seen in the comparison graphic. Watkins also says that recycled filament blocks are more durable and more insulated than concrete bricks. With all these potential benefits in play, it's time to cover how our filament will work to help the homeless, according to experts, that is. Brett Hagler, co-founder of a housing initiative called New Story, states, "With one type of technology, 3D printing, you essentially get a lower cost home. The exact percent and price is to be decided. 2, it's faster. 3, it's very exciting to us because you get a much better custom design based on a family's need. Community First, a housing project for the homeless, has taken notice of these points. They have built 3D printed homes for the homeless and elderly where they pay $220 to $430 in rent and they can work on-site as payment. This housing structure combined with our recycled plastic filament will lower the cost of production of the homes even more and therefore lower the cost of living. This will allow for more living communities like Community First to be established and at a faster rate, which will help low-income families."
Shaheen and Rio, Senior Project Manager and Consultant at Advocates for Human Potential, remark, "Access to mainstream, federally funded employment resources has not kept pace with the urgent need for services among people experiencing homelessness. And this could not be more true. Homelessness is a cycle that cannot be resolved without more people, especially larger companies, banding together to form a solution. Icon is the perfect candidate to host our ideas, as our ideas already align with the company's purpose, to advance humanity and help communities through advanced construction technology."
The use of recycled filaments will cut down the cost of labor and materials, reduce waste, and allow for homes that better suit the homeowner's needs. Funded by nonprofit initiatives such as Etchell, New Story, and government agencies that seek to decrease unemployment, many of the main challenges of the technology, such as the house's longevity, could be researched and continuously improved on. Even now, the partnership between Icon, New Story, Etchell, and local governments in Mexico are allowing 3D printed housing to be made quicker by offering their resources such as funding, electricity, and plumbing to these housings. Expanded to more locations, these additions can drastically change the quality of life for marginalized communities around the world. To conclude, 3D printers are a monumental part of humanity's future and well-being. Going back to Larson's quote, which stated, "If the project is successful, it'll revolutionize the material consumption of 3D printers, which today is largely made up of new plastic." It's important to keep in mind how revolutionary our product really is. Not only is it going to be the first successful filament of its kind, but it's going to change the course of humanity. From helping the homeless to helping the entire earth heal from all the garbage that's been making it sick, integrating our recycled plastic filament is a must for Icon. The stoppage of tons and tons of waste into the waste stream and the implementation of community housing for the homeless is not just great within itself. These improvements to the world will open up doors for so many more environmental developments and the overall living quality for low-income families. What are you waiting for, Icon? It's time to change the game, together.